Okay, it is great. It is. But I don't really have a lot to say. Because it's the weakest of the three. And it's not as good as Rise and not as good as Dawn. But it's still great. But I'd kind of just be regurgitating the same exact pros. So I'm going to more focus on my big problems with this movie more so than the positives, because the positives are the exact same from the past two. Literally the exact same. And I don't want to be too repetitious with these reviews. So, because of that, this review is going to be a lot shorter than those past ones, and probably the shortest one of this marathon excluding the terrible remake. So, let's discuss. What's up? What's happening? What's going on? Welcome back to Anime Station. It was safe for anything information, including TVs and movies as well. I'm your host, Jackson Small. This review is super late. I am sorry, but I just ended up taking the hiatus earlier than expected. Well, my first hiatus. But I'm back now and ready to get these videos done. Thankfully, I don't have a lot to do today, so it shouldn't be too hard. So let's start with War for the Planet of the Apes. This movie's great. It is a very strong conclusion to this Reeves trilogy, but it is the weakest of the three. Like I said, I don't really have a whole lot to say, so I'm just going to let my written review do the talking. I hope you enjoy. Was really hoping that I'd have more to say since this is Caesar's last movie, but honestly there's not really much to say at all besides that it's still a great movie, and it's a strong ending for this chapter of the franchise, but out of the Reeves trilogy, it is still the weakest movie. It has all the exact same positives of the past two, but a much weaker villain than the last one. Woody Harrelson does do a really good job, and his character is by no means bad. But he's nowhere near as great as Koba was as a villain. Hell, Koba is still somewhat present in this third movie. His decisions and what he did and the war that he started. Now Caesar's stuck fighting that war. So his presence still lingers, and he's still more intimidating and more scary than Woody Harrelson. I'm sorry, that's just me being honest. And a huge pacing problem with the second act, which can cause it to feel very dragged out at times. The second act of this movie is so unbelievably fucking slow that sometimes it can get a little bit aggravating. Not to the point of ruining the experience, but to the point of like, come on, get to the damn point here. Overall, it's a great ending to a strong trilogy, but definitely nowhere near the quality of Rise. Nowhere close to Rise. So, that puts the final verdict for this movie at a strong 8 out of 10. Which, yes, it makes the entire trilogy very, very strong overall. But this is the weakest one of the three. Rise is still the best one. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kingdom is kind of the same. We'll find out in the next review, but until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time for my review of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and our conclusion of our little Invasion of the Apes marathon. Take care, guys.
We cannot take it anymore. The time has come. Prepare for what we're ready for.